Township News 1, hosted by AC Justice, bringing you the best in news and entertainment. Let's give thanks to our special guests. Remember, we do all sides, the accused, the accuser, and then we fact check. And also, a special edition of Crime Grind. Let's get ready to be informed. Join us. Township News 1, all copyrights reserved.
Welcome to Township News 1. Good day. First of all, we're going to do a brief summary on the stories we're going to cover today. First up, we're going to look at George Rosario, an interview in which I had with George Rosario upon, as we discussed that Monday, before he was inaugurated into office that evening, as he received a check. Of course, a letter came with it. Then we're going to go to Redmond Jones, an exclusive interview on a meeting that he had in Winter Gardens with Officer Penrose, George Rosario, and of course, former city manager Redmond Jones. From there, we're going to go, of course, to a text in which I text George Rosario to question him on the meeting that they had. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to Crime Grind. And we're going to look at the opium crisis that has affected Baltimore City. And of course, you know, it's affecting throughout the United States and probably about the entire world. Then, of course, we're going to go to Movie Line. We're going to take a look at some of the movies and review the movies that are coming out at the local theater near you. And then, of course, we're going to top it off with what we call our tidbit or our thoughts for the day, basic knowledge. Let's get ready to start Township News 1 on the move. Now let's get ready to take a look at an interview with George Rosario. Please remember, now the interview is going to consist of that Monday night before George Rosario took office. So you must keep that in mind, that they received a letter around 1 or 2 that day, which was on a Monday, and that Monday night they had a city meeting. And of course, that the city mayor. Let's take a look at that interview. The time, the date, and also what went on when you first got the letter to the meeting that entire day, sir. So let's start. When did you get the
November 21st, somewhere around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon from FedEx.
And this was prior to your meeting that night?
Correct.
Okay, so in the package, explain what you saw. Was there a letter? Was there what?
There was a letter addressed to me, indicating the check, a check that it was written. This package was mailed from Sam Smith, the same Sam Smith that former Mayor Tim Lotz praised. So it became clear to me that on that day of November 21st, around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, FedEx package was the letter. And
do you have that letter, and you have the check, and you have the envelope?
Correct.
Okay. We actually, as we start this, and the check. Now, tell me what was in the letter.
In the letter was indicating a check written to an employee. That employee, George Penrose, for $35. Upon reviewing this material that was mailed to me here at my address, that it came out general account, and you know,
Now explain that, because for the viewers, we need to break every single thing. What is in a general account? What does that?
It's basically the from this the.
And this was on the check?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't the fund that comes from retirement. Is that what you're saying? So, now, I'm sure you are a mayor. That means you've been dealing with government.
It's written on the check, actually. It's the check general account.
Okay, and that's what most cities use, the general account, and then there's a separate police account, correct?
Correct.
Now, is there any way, with the letter and then the check came, was there any other information in there?
No. Informing us what has been revealed to me as far as that I knew that I figured, well, we'll get to the bottom. We're going to find out.
Now, out of all the other council people, we know y'all didn't break the sunshine law by calling each other.
Oh, no, absolutely.
That night, affirmed that they did have the same envelope?
At the meeting, I know that by report, and I was going to make it a report, make this package, and McMeekin was the first receive at FedEx the same day on the 21st. So,
checks show you how they came letter as we move forward in this investigation concerning this checks, and hopefully we can get down to the bottom of it soon. If not, we're going to further this investigation until we do get down the accuser, and then we're going to fact check. Thank you for your time. Get ready. Welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at some questions that should have been asked on that night of this incident. Number one, why did not the mayor, which was the mayor at that time, Tim Lux, get even a letter or something sent to his house, considering you only can have one mayor at a time, and that would have meant that maybe they could have settled it at the beginning part of the meeting. As you all know, there is a certain part, and then of course the inauguration of the new mayor or the new city council takes over. Number two, why wasn't an investigation done before it was brought into the city council to even deal with in front of the public the issue that was at hand? Why didn't they look at it? And of course there's number three. There were 2 signatures on this check, and yet only one person was claimed to be involved in it. Why wasn't an investigation where they found out on both signatures and then perhaps went after both people? But it also proved there was only one seat that you're after if you're not seeking full justice on anything that you're doing. You're only going after one person. So why not both? The next question. If it was Mrs. Walker who was doing wrong, whether the check was legal or illegal, why is she still the only one who went down for the whole thing and not everybody who was involved? Why is that? And of course, we're going to have to take a look at now the interview with Redmond Jones, an exclusive interview. An interview that I had a phone conversation with him. I made him, I was aware we was taping it, and also informed him that we're looking into this case thoroughly. What was going on. Now in this interview you're going to find out that there was a meeting. There was a meeting with Redmond Jones, sitting mayor George Rosario, and of course Officer Penrose. We're going to take, and it was held in Winter Gardens. Let's take a listen. With George. What restaurant was it? What restaurant was it? You remember?
Something Star, 5-star, something Star. It's barbecue place.
Okay, down there near in Groveland.
No, it was like by Winter Garden.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. And then the only people who was there was you, George, and Penrose, correct?
Right.
Okay, so here's the other thing. That's the only time you met with them too, correct?
Yeah, I think that was the only time.
Okay, so here's my thing. He's going around, all right, and I got to figure this whole thing out. Of course, and from the, he admitted that Monday with what's his name around. But what I'm getting to is that you three met. You haven't talked to him no more, and the rumors going around that you, him, and a couple of other people put those notes together for Monday morning. He got in that night. So I'm just saying, if that conversation from what you told me that you only mentioned, what was it? That he, you only mentioned to him that he could become chief if he went to school, correct? You only mentioned that to him. Then was it involving a check, or what was involved in it?
Let me clarify. So in that meeting, we spent our time there. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I heard a beat. At that meeting, we spent our time talking about him and Gwen Walker.
Okay.
We didn't. We talked about him and Gwen Walker, and the only thing that came up about a deputy chief is that he should be as deputy chief. He should be until they get the chief, because he's the next in command.
So at no point did this thing come up with that, had a meeting with him, and if he didn't come and lie on Walker, then you guys, I guess. So at no time none of this mess happened.
Yeah, and I have to go.
Now let's take a look at the text between me and George Rosario. We're going to take a look at it, his responses on the night that I found out that there was a meeting. And it reads, as we now move forward to the end of the check scandal, we request an interview on your side per meeting with Scott Penrose on the lawsuit. Also have contacted his lawyer. His answer is, I'm not understanding what you're saying. My reply again, you're meeting with Redmond and Penrose. Your side just giving you a chance to be heard, as I give others. Of course, I will contact the city council to ask was any other person part of or knew about this meeting. Thanks again for your time. That was the last text that we had from him. He did not text me back after that. Therefore, I can assume whether or not I do know he received the text, but there was no response after that. So I guess we're trying to find out now to do an invite real quick. And that invite is that it's been a request for a nice interview to be done and hosted, of course, by Justice between Muhammad, who is a business owner, and of course, City Councilman John Griffin. We hope to get that interview soon. We're going to also try to email him and let him know that he does have an invite, and we'd be more than happy to sit down with both of them and let them vent to each other on what's going on. Thank you. Let's get ready to move now to our other section, Crime Grind, coming up next.
Crime Grind, dedicated to strengthening the community, brought to you by Japec.
Welcome to Crime Grind. Crime Grind is a show that is dedicated to bring about a change with the best information to inform you on being safe in your community. Today we're going to take a look at Baltimore, drugs, infliction, people who have gotten addictions to this. And remember, these are regular people. Sometimes they're in a bad situation. Sometimes this is their way out. But we also will be talking to therapists as our show moves forward. But today, let's go to Baltimore, Maryland. And remember this, addiction, drugs, all of this have no race or color. And for those people out there that just think it's in the black neighborhoods, it's in the white neighborhoods, it's in the Latino neighborhoods, it's everywhere. And here's the thing about it. We can always say, and as some people believe in their heart, well, the blacks got the drugs. The blacks, number one, don't have ships. They don't have factories to make the pills. So we're going to start looking at that too, is where it's coming from. So to say that the blacks is the only one who brought the drugs in, or the Latinos is this, you must first start looking at the economy and the economics dealing with it. And a lot of people never ask themselves that question. If this is a black man drugs, if he's the one who created all this, what ships did he have? What factories did he have? What plants did he have? What land does he have? In order to make a pill, you've got to have a factory. You've got to have a way. So until then, we've got to look at everything that's going on in it. So let's take a look at some young ladies who are coming through. Let's go to Baltimore.
Welcome. I'm here in Baltimore City, and I want to hear about the opioid crisis. I want to hear about your experience in the crisis. So please give me the understanding and give the viewers the understanding of what's happening in Baltimore, and then we'll go to your experiences, and then we'll go to other things.
Okay. My name is Gina. I'm associate minister of a church in the inner city, Baltimore, surrounding opiates, cocaine, so on. Any drug solicit, it's out there. The people is out there. Now we're talking about the opiates that's out here that's killing our people, not just adults, but now it's affecting the children. And I see it every day. Every day I walk these streets and I talk with these young people. I hear them saying, you know who got some perks, you know who got some Xannies. And it's sad because I ask myself, I said, where is they getting all this stuff from? You know the people that's getting this, prescribing these opiates is people that is either terminally ill or people that have the pain that they can't, is unbearable, that they can't take a Tylenol and be okay. So I asked myself, I said, where is they getting all these pills from? Now the light is shining. We got doctors. Doctors, just prime example, just a week ago, I turned on the news and what did I see? A doctor right here in the inner city in Dundalk near a mall where everybody goes to, where they can walk there, they can catch the MTA and go there. Doctor right there in the heart of, not just prescribing them, but if you have $500, $1,000, $3,000, they sell them. They're showing up at the nightclubs, just a few blocks away from here, where they found doctors have pictures, where doctors have pulled up in Bentleys and in old used Hondas, and they're selling these opiate pills to people. You got the money, they sell them. They have no age barrier whatsoever. Then you're talking about the clinic, just a couple blocks away, right from me, walking distance to my church where our fellowship at on every Sunday. Now we're talking about a preacher. A preacher went from nowhere, because when he started out, he came to our church. And he talked about opening up a clinic to help our people, to get them off of the substance. We had no idea that this is his idea of helping people get up off the substance. He got them all walking around. If you go down there, you'll see it. It look like zombie land down there.
And which makes it so sad about it because you on his program, methadone program, that you have to attend his Bible study. But if you come to his Bible study and he see you nodding, he come and tap you and tell you he see you next week.
And
this is a preacher. And this is the same one who's killing them people up there.
We have them. You remember when we was coming up? We had chores to plant flowers in the community, to plant trees in the community. He have them planting artificial flowers in the community. Where is that? Where's the growth at in there? How can that flower bloom? But yet he tells the people we're going to start here from a seed. The Bible says that. We start from a seed until we blossom into this wonderful being that God created us to be. And we're talking about a head man, a preacher, that went from nothing, that's wearing $1,000 gators, private jet, driving Bentleys, and he got these people saying it's okay. And it's not okay. And I'm one that stands right here, and I will stand to the day I go from here, that it's wrong. It's something we need change in the city. So we need change.
So what you're saying is that this clinic is keeping individuals in this community in a perpetual state of addiction.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely.
And what is your thought about that?
My thought is it's sad. It saddens me to go around there to see. And then you have the babies, the little babies that should be home and daycare, teaching them the ABCs, 1, 2, 3, tie their shoes, but they darting across the street. Prime example, I was coming down the street about a month ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, in a vehicle. Thank God this young lady wasn't driving fast. This young lady, they say she does it all the time. She deliberately walked in front of the car, let the car hit her, fell in the street, and then she had her cheerleaders. 4 or 5 people from over at their program came over and said, call the police, call the paramedics. You just hit her. And I went, what in the world? I went and I bent over down to see if she was okay. Get away from me. I don't want you to touch me. I need the police. I just want to talk to him. They said this young lady does this all the time. They have so many Oh my God, I just don't know where it's going at. All I see is death at this road. With this opiate crisis that we're going, our people is dying. In every neighborhood around here, in every household, somebody's ODing off of fentanyl, Percocets, Oxycontin, Oxycodone. And it's just sad, it's out of control. Where's the help? Where's the help? What is it going to have to knock on the governor's door and someone in his home to die? Knock on the president's door for someone in his family for this to affect, for help to come? We need help. We are in bad shape here in the inner city. Our youth, they are dying. There is no hope. I see no hope for them outside of me.
Gina, tell me about your past and what makes you able to speak so passionately about this opiate use.
Because one time, about 3 years ago, I was also an opiate user. But what I found out is that as I woke up every morning, my body was hurting more than the pain that was already in there from the procedure that I had done. It was coming from the pills, and I knew that. What did I do? I stopped using. I came up off of it.
What was your fuel to make you stop using? How did you get off of the drugs?
I prayed one, because God is the source and the strength of my life, and I know what He has done for me. I prayed and I asked Him to take this yearning away from me so that I would not have to be codependent on their substance. And then when I looked at the people out on the street, they gave me more hope and strength than a seed in the ground that you can't even see that's going to blossom into a flower. Back to those plants, those seeds, those flowers, they're killing our people. And
Does
I
this
see
happen
this.
to you? Say our people. Is it only this color?
Oh,
Or is it happening to
absolutely
a lot
not.
of-
Absolutely not. It's not just this thing don't have no race, have no color, don't have no name, no age, no agenda.
Okay.
It's affecting all people.
So it's happening to our mankind.
Our mankind.
Thank you so much. We're gonna go to one.
Real quick. You know what's really interesting is that at the clinic up in the east side, is that the only thing hustling and bustling. It's not industry. It's not jobs. It's the damn clinic.
It's the clinic.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the feels back.
He's clinic. He's doctors.
She's on pain management right now. So we're gonna get to you.
And Wanda, so tell us your story. Do
Yeah,
you
she's
think
on pain
do you think Baltimore, and maybe not even just Baltimore, but do you think everyone in America is experiencing a crisis when it comes to opioid? Is it affecting everyone?
Yes, it is. It's affecting the ones that's prescribed it, and it's affecting the ones that's not getting them prescription form. But even if you're not getting them, say for instance, me for the first time getting them, I can go to this parking lot. There's a supermarket, and I can go up to this certain car and give this man $350 and actually buy that strip. But for me, I ain't got to do that because I'm in pain management as I speak.
Okay.
And I take them, but I don't take them as prescribed because it seems like the way the doctor is trying to get us to take them, it becomes addictive. So I find my own method. I have arthritis throughout my body. There's no cure for that among torn ligaments and nerve damage. So yes, I take them to relieve my pain, but not as prescribed. But the way they want me to take them, if I take them like that, yeah, I'll be one of them running around here like a chicken with my head cut off. But thank God that I ain't got to do it like that.
I want you to tell us about what this is doing, what the opioid crisis is doing to our youth. Is it good for our youth or is it bad?
It's bad. You got these kids out here that's taking them, they disrespecting their parents. They out here disrespecting their parents. They robbing their own people for it. They knock on people's doors and run up in people's houses just for this stuff. It's terrible. It's killing our young African American males.
And do you think that's why we see this almost record number of homicides this year? Is because of the opioid crisis?
That's exactly where it comes from.
It has a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy because Trump, he's sitting there wanting to fight with these people across seas and trying to start a nuclear war when he should put a crisis on these opiates.
Well, he actually just did that.
It's like
he actually just said
But
that. But you're right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it
how
took him all this time though.
Yeah.
Look how many people died from it.
Decades.
Even babies.
Yeah.
Babies getting a hold of this stuff.
A young lady came in our church this morning, prime example, and she had an infant. And just so happened this infant was born a preemie. And the mom was an opiate addict. This baby was so small, my God. Didn't he have a chance? A Caucasian baby, beautiful baby. She's a foster care provider which adopts children and nurtures them into healthier children and give them a fresh start, a new start. And when she brought that baby in there, the baby looked like a doll baby. It was so small, and the baby was born 2 weeks ago.
But it's just sad because
for 1 pound.
When they was doing that thing ceased the fire, I just thought that one weekend that we was gonna make it, because they made it within 40 something hours, and then I was like, wow, that fast. But the way it is out here today, mostly 9 out of 10 of our young boys are on these opiate prescription drugs. If they're not on the Percocet and the Oxycontin, they on the liquor, they on the marijuana, and they love the Xanax bars. They love the Xanax bars because the Xanax and Molly's, they take everything.
Oh, and they take crushing them up, sniffing them.
Lean
and
is?
fentanyl.
You know what lean is? You know what lean is?
They put it in their butt.
It's a tranquilizer that is used to settle horses down. They lay 1,000-pound horses down. That's what they treat ill horse with that lean. And they drinking it to get high off of. I've seen them.
There's a limited few who are keeping the inner cities in this perpetual state of dependence and oppression so they can profit.
That's right. It's a profit for them and not for us.
And you can see it. You know, it's very interesting. We were speaking earlier, and I don't know if you probably don't know this, but 1/3 of blacks in Baltimore have a net worth of zero.
Of course.
Of zero.
Of course. I can believe that.
I can believe that.
Of zero. There's 46,800 vacant row homes here in Baltimore.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad?
The median wealth income is double of a white family here in town. Meanwhile, the median wealth income of an African American family is about 30-something thousand. Of a white family, it's about 60 to 70. So it's almost doubled. And it's very interesting that we see these statistics that are proving that there has been oppression and there continues to be oppression, and a lot of that has to deal with drugs and opioids.
You think about it. Every day we turn on the news. What do we see? We see another black young
in the street
man dies under the age of 25 years old.
So the opioid crisis, I mean, it's called a crisis, but should we call it a war?
It's a war.
It's a war.
And it's affecting our youth, and it's affecting everything in our country.
Yes,
and it's a war. Yeah.
Yes, it's a war.
It is a war.
We should start treating it like a war.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now that you've seen the clip, now you've had a chance to look at it. We wish the ladies very well, and we hope that soon they'll get relief in that neighborhood, that someone will step up and try to solve some of the issues that they're having. As we move forward with even the thought of today, we all are here together, and we've got to start informing each other with the right information, standing up for each other. To tell anybody that you care about them and yet stab them in their back, or support something that you know is wrong just because you like somebody, does not make you friends. Get to know who you're standing by and who you support. When it comes to drugs, try to be safe. And also take a look at our safety commercial. Make sure you buckle up. Thanks again. Township News 1, Crime Grind, on the move. Thank you.
Life. Buckle up. Stay safe. Success. Don't text, don't map. Keep love and be on your way. From Japec, Community Life Magazine, All Nations TV.